so much news to talk about today. Ethereum, kind of MicroStrategy, similar product that could potentially be coming. We've got some great news about Cardano. I also have some details for you about Circle and their IPO and what this potentially could mean for Ripple and Coinbase, because remember, they were all trying to acquire it. There's so much going on. And again, I am live from Bitcoin 2025. It is packed, absolutely packed. I just got done with breakfast, had to run up to stream with you guys. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. This is going to be a big, big week for crypto. So there is or not a 2.5 billion, I think it's 25 billion. Let me get my facts straight over here. There's a lot going on, you guys. I'm really excited. So Trump Media, yeah, it's 2.5 billion. Trump Media announces approximately 2.5 billion Bitcoin treasury deal. So they have raised about 1.5 billion in common stock and 1 billion in 0% convertible notes in a private placement. The proceeds will be used to acquire Bitcoin, forming one of the largest Bitcoin treasuries by a public company. Crypto.com and Anchorage Digital will custody the Bitcoin. Trump Media CEO Devin calls Bitcoin an apex instrument of financial freedom and framed the move as a defense against institutional discrimination. This right here is absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. Okay. So it is, it's $2.5 billion. So Trump's media company is going to acquire it, and this is going to be done in a transparent manner. It is going to be done with a public company, which is absolutely massive. So again, we are seeing traditional companies go into Bitcoin. We are seeing traditional finance go into Bitcoin. We are seeing institutions go into Bitcoin. We are not seeing retail hop on the bandwagon like we used to, and we should be seeing more of that, because what's going to end up happening is these folks that have the ability to create traditional financial products are going to create these traditional financial products, these financial instruments, raise more money that can continue to be print, because remember, the Fed prints money, and then buy that finite asset Bitcoin. So even though this is great, this is bullish, it's wonderful for Bitcoin long term, at the end of the day, you see what's happening? We're seeing companies that can create money out of thin air buy Bitcoin. So that's probably one of the bigger stories. I also have some tea about Michael Saylor, and this is going to get a little bit juicy. Make sure to smash a like. Okay, let's get into the next thing over here. So there's a company, 10 Times Research. What did they say? And again, you guys got to excuse me, I'm doing this from my phone. But they flagged weak conviction Bitcoin ETFs, suggesting MicroStrategy could face a 25% decline. And they're basically using traditional financial indicators, all that type of stuff. So in this little story here, they says the ETF surpassed 1.2 million Bitcoin in holdings with nearly 1 billion in net inflows over 2 months. The report cautions that the low volatility environment may be temporarily, potentially leading to either a breakdown or market correction depending on macro factors. Guess what? This is Bitcoin. This is crypto. We are all used to the volatility. Bitcoin's going to be fine. Like generally during bear markets, sometimes we get like, what do we get? We get 50% corrections, 30% corrections. We've seen 80% corrections in the past. Well, 70% corrections in the past. It's nothing. Absolutely nothing. Will that hurt MicroStrategy? It could hurt MicroStrategy, and it could hurt these traditional financial institutions that are leveraging their Bitcoin positions if they don't have enough capital to replenish that position or stop with some of the liquidations, depending on what it is that they're doing. So yeah, it could cause a little bit of problems for them. But retail, people like you and I that just like to hold Bitcoin long term to help improve our quality of lives and the quality of lives of our families, we're good. We're good. And I was just thinking today, I'm not planning on selling into my Bitcoin anytime soon. That's getting passed down to my kid. However, if you are somebody that does have to sell Bitcoin, you have to pay for a medical bill, you want to buy a house, you need to, there's a dream you want to accomplish, you do that. You are here to make as much money as ethically and legally as possible. And if you got to sell a little bit of your Bitcoin, you do it. You do it. Now, there was a little bit of fake news yesterday, and apparently Trump Media says dumb writers behind report claiming it's seeking $3 billion to buy Bitcoin. So there's two stories here. So Trump Media announces approximately $2.5 billion Bitcoin treasury deal, but Financial Times reported that they were seeking to raise $3 billion to invest in Bitcoin and other crypto assets. And that story was incorrect. What they are going to be doing is that they are going to be doing a $2.5 billion Bitcoin treasury deal that will be a little bit different than that. Okay. Altcoins will follow. You just have to be patient, sweetie. You got to be patient. Also, too, Polymarket is also predicting a 20% chance that Bitcoin will hit $200,000 this year in 2025. Me personally, I was talking to Aaron and Austin from Altcoin Daily yesterday because we were all hanging out, and I think about it. I told them 150,000. I want to be safe. About $150,000 in Bitcoin. That's what I think. Now, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Michael Saylor, and we're going to get into Cardano. We're going to get into Ethereum, so stick with me. But this story with Michael Saylor is a little bit shady, and I don't like it, and it kind of ties into traditional the Trump media and all that stuff. Anyways, Saylor says on-chain proof of reserves is a bad idea due to security risks. Michael Saylor says on-chain reserves or proof of reserves is a bad idea due to security risks. Guess what? On-chain, blockchain, transparency, that is the whole purpose of Bitcoin. If you want to be really cautious about security risks, then you stay in traditional finance, okay? You stay in traditional finance. Do not get into crypto. That's the whole purpose of crypto, is for transparency. So to me, it's kind of wild that he's talking about, yes, it is a risk. It is a risk, but at the same time, you're a public company. The reason why we Bitcoin, the reason why we crypto is because we want transparency from these big institutions. And it's also our responsibility to protect what we, I don't want to say what we do on chain, but it's important to protect our assets on chain as well. When I say that, basically being, using different wallets and, having really great OPSEC, because there's a lot of different things that you can do. So again, he was talking about specific wallet addresses, transparent public companies is paramount. Yeah, I get it. But at the same time, it's like you can't be a Bitcoin bull and then say, no, I don't like this type of transparency. That's why we like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is hard money. It's transparent. It's for the people. It removes the middleman. Okay. That's why we're here. So I understand his point, but at the same time, the people want transparency. And if he's going to be able to get away with it and not be transparent with his his company's Bitcoin holdings, then the public servants are not going to be transparent with how much money that they have. And we want transparency from the public service. So it just kind of stems into something bigger. Also, make sure to smash the like. Shout out to all my channel members that are watching me. We got Mr. R, John Germain, watching me from Memorex over there. Who else? Okay, make sure to smash the like. Next story. This is about Ethereum. And this can actually help Ethereum. Sharply Gaming announces $425 million private placement to initiate Ethereum treasury strategy. So basically, they raised $425 million via a private investment deal. They sold 69.1 million shares as part of the deal. It included Consensus and other top VCs. Starlink is a marketing partner leading to sportsbooks and online casino gaming operators worldwide. Proceeds will be used to mainly buy ETH as the company treasury reserve asset. They partner with Consensus to develop the treasury strategy. Joseph Lubin, founder of Consensus and co-founder of Ethereum, became a chairman of Starlink board, and the deal is expected to close around May 29th. So the reason why this is bullish is because we all know Ethereum is not really leading in the market right now. It's not doing well, but basically it after just reading the story, it sounds like they want to do what MicroStrategy is doing, have their own kind of, little treasury reserve, whatever that may be, of Bitcoin. It's going to be a treasury initiate Ethereum treasury strategy. So we'll find out more details about it, but it is good that we're seeing millions and millions of dollars being invested into Ethereum because things are lagging just a little bit. Now, Cardano. Cardano has officially surpassed Ethereum in total core development and development commits over the past year. I'm not going to read all of the details over here, but really, really shout out to Cardano. Shout out to the ADA community. Shout out to the Cardano army. This is awesome. And I'm so excited to see Cardano continuously build. When I generally go to Rare Evo every year. It's more of a Cardano focused conference. Hey, Buckeye, shout out to you. But every time I go, I've been there twice now, there's a lot of building happening on Cardano, and I absolutely love to see it. Now, back to Cardano a little bit. Grayscale's Cardano ADA ETF deadline decision this week. It's going to be on the spot Cardano ETF on May 29th. They also filed for Digital Large Cap Fund, Ethereum, Solana, XRP Avalanche, XRP Trust ETF, Solana Trust ETF, Litecoin Trust ETF, ADA ETF, and Doge ETF. I would love for this to get approved, but at the same time, I do not think that it's going to get approved. I think that we will get these. Approvals probably July, October of 2025. So quarter 3, quarter 4, probably quarter 4.
Just my personal opinion. Yeah, I would love for it to be Q3, but again, we gotta wait. What else? Also, stablecoin giant Circle files for IPO and on NYSE. So there was a little bit of drama happening with Circle because some people thought that Circle wasn't going to file for the IPO, that they were going to sell to Coinbase, to Ripple. We do know that there's active bidding happening between those companies. We don't really have all the details because it's not super public, but we do know that, you know, they are going to go public now. That was officially announced. So let's go and read a little bit about this. So Circle filed for an IPO on the NYSE, and I'm not sure if they can actually sell after they go public or if they will sell if they decide to go public. So we'll have to see about that. The ticker is going to be CRCL, and they're offering 24 million Class A shares. The price range is going to be 24 to 26 per share. Valuation aimed at 6.7 billion. Major banks involved. Guess who? JP Morgan. Remember JP Morgan Chase? They were trashing for all those times? Yeah. Underwriter is a banker financial firm that helps with the company to sell its shares and sets the price. So their JP Morgan is helping with that, which is freaking insane because they don't like crypto, but they're forced to join. And the IPO is expected to close around May 29th, and it is pending regulatory approval. So we have a lot that's happening this week. It's only Tuesday. We've got Trump's media company that is going to, be dealing more with Bitcoin, about $2.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. As far as the crypto markets go, things are looking pretty good. We have gains from like 3 to 18% on the daily. Bitcoin right now, again, is Bitcoin 2025. There's a lot happening. Like I got to get back down there to see what's going on. But Bitcoin's trading at $110,000 right now. Solana 178, Sui 367, XRP $2.33. And HBAR 19 cents. So we're doing all good over here. Anyways, guys, I got to get going. Have a good rest of the day. I got some media dropping for you soon. Make sure to share this, like this, subscribe, and set alerts, and I will catch you soon.